versus Ricochet. Oh, bro, Ricochet was really over with this crowd. Really over. And the match starts off with some really nice, fast-paced, fluent, crisp, technical hold-to-hold wrestling. The style of pro wrestling I love because it's fast-paced but still technical at the same time. Ricochet hits the people's moonsault, which is the people's elbow, but instead of the elbow, he hits a moonsault. Perkins then starts working the leg during this heel heat. Good psychology, really good storytelling, because now the story of the match, which the commentators brought up, is now it prevents Ricochet from using any high-flying offense in his arsenal, which is basically cutting it in half. And then it makes it sound like he's scouting him, and which is just phenomenal because it makes it feel like a sport, makes it feel like a shoot, makes you forget what you're watching is predetermined. Ricochet then hits several kicks and super kicks and then falls and sells the leg. Now, that's all I'm after, guys. I'm not after, okay, say it's a 25-minute match, all 25, or say they start working the leg at the 5-minute point. Not all 20 minutes of the rest of the match. I want you to sell the leg. I'm just saying every now and then, just remember it's there, shake it off, because adrenaline's a part of the story being told. You have a quick burst of adrenaline, and then you're like, oh shit, it hurts so much, and you have to sell it and look after it. That's just what a professional pro does. And Ricochet is that for sure. Ricochet he does these crazy moves and doesn't sell until after he hits them. That, in my opinion, is phenomenal. And I've talked about that. They exchange variations of kick strikes until TJ hits a drop kick to the knee. Again, going back to the knee, the crowd chanting, this is awesome. Again, fans appreciating the story being told. And do you know why the story was being told? Because they used in-ring psychology. Ricochet, again, is selling the leg, but whilst he is in offense, and, it either annoys you or it doesn't. Ricochet then hits a Northern Light suplex. He rolls through into deadlift vertical suplex. Ricochet flips off the top, lands on his feet, but because the leg has been worked the whole match, Ricochet starts selling like he hurt his leg. TJ hits a dropkick to the leg off the top rope and then applies a leg bar to get the win. Crowd booed TJ out of the building. Commentators did a great job in protecting Ricochet by saying he tapped to save his leg for the weekend. That's fucking good job. Yeah, great stuff. Stokely Hathaway then gives TJ Perkins a contract and says TJ Perkins has now joined his faction. Stokely then cuts a great promo saying, Triple H, if you want the best cruiserweight for the Global Cruiserweight Series, look no further than TJP. Really good stuff. Great promo. I like that a lot. Great match. I loved how the finish involved the psychology. How many times in a wrestling match have we seen a guy work a body part during the heel heat and either A, gets forgotten about by the finish, B, the finish has nothing to do with it, or C, it's just forgotten about, or it doesn't have any involved in any way, shape, or form. This, you had the leg work during the heat. Ricochet during his comeback sold. He may not have sold whilst on offense, but he still always remembered to sell. And when you're like a guy like Ricochet, whose offense depends on the leg every single time, you can't the whole match not do your offense because you're worried about selling. Okay, I still want you to do your offense because your offense is so fucking amazing and so different and so unique and so awesome. But he still had the spot fest that would have pleased the fans, and whilst he was doing that, he added the element of psychology of selling that body part, and it was absolutely magnificent to watch. TJ Perkins did a great job of continuing to target the knee. If it wasn't for TJ Perkins, just keep going for the knee. Ricochet might not have sold it as well as he did sell it. This to me was a phenomenal match. It did a great job at putting Ricochet over as not just a spot fest guy. He can have strikes, he can have technical hold, and he can have psychology in his matches. And TJ Perkins just took the ball to a whole nother level, in my opinion. My opinion on the guy is he is a great professional wrestler. I'm a fan of the guy, but this proved me wrong in many ways. I said on the preview that this was going to be a good match. Never would I expect me to come out here and say this was a 4-star and a quarter match. I absolutely loved this. The psychology was brilliant, especially how, I was watching the previous 2 matches, as I've already talked about, really not having any psychology, not having any stories being told, and then boom, this hit me, and it was magnificent to watch, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you're a fan of psychology, go out of your way to watch this. Not a lot of people are a fan of psychology. They want a spot fest. This leads me on to the next match, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay. Unbelievable. The crowd are absolutely electric for this. They're split 50-50. Really big fight feel, in my opinion. This should be the main event of the evening, but that's just my opinion. I love how during the technical stages, Zack, his gimmick is, he's this technical wizard. He keeps the same expression, making it just look so easy. Just, I'm Zack Sabre Jr., I know how to do it. Awesome. And it is some of the best fast-paced hold you ever seen in your life. Really, really is. Ospreay then goes for a springboard, but Zack Sabre Jr. midair hits a bridged dragon suplex. Zack is just such a great pro wrestler. He really, really is. And I don't know about you. I just can't pitch him in the WWE. I just really can't. Ospreay then hits a springboard spinning kick. Ospreay hits a running standing moonsault over the top to the floor. Yes, I said standing moonsault. He hit a standing one to the floor. Ospreay then hits a springboard cutter for 2. That gets to this is awesome chant. Sabre then with Will Ospreay's leg hooked. He hits a tiger suplex, which is absolutely insane. Ospreay hits a standing shooting star off the top. And as he goes, he then hits a Phoenix Splash off the second rope for 2. The crowd on their feet. Sabre Jr. hits a springboard tornado DDT. Ospreay bounces off his head, lands on his feet, hits a standing shooting star, but Sabre counters in mid-flight into a triangle choke. A thunderous ovation out of this is awesome chant. Ospreay hits the Essex Destroyer for 2, insane near fall. Ospreay hits a reverse spiral tap off the top, but Sabre gets his knees up. He hits a soccer kick. Zack Sabre has Will's arms in his legs, so his legs are tying up his arms, and then he sits back and sits on his head. Ospreay screams, he taps out. Absolutely incredible. That was awesome chant. Both men sit up, they shake hands, they get a standing ovation. A thank you both chant. What a fucking wrestling match. You went from the story, the psychology element, to an all-out spot fest. I've never once said I don't like a spot fest. There was no botches, no mishaps, no bad booking decisions. Just 2 incredible wrestlers going out there and having one heck of a professional wrestling match. Everyone watch this now. This was magnificent. If you're a fan of Zack Sabre Jr., if you're a fan of Will Ospreay, and you're a fan of the style that they bring to the table, now you may be listening to this and say it's not real wrestling. How is there styles? There is styles, and firstly, you just shut up for being an inbred and an imbecile for calling professional wrestling fake. That pisses me off. There is styles. There's fast paced. There's technical. There's storytellers. There's grapplers. There's brawlers. There's so many different styles. And these are 2 styles that mesh. When they mesh, they very rarely do, but when they do, and it's 2 exceptional talents, it creates something special. And this was special. 5 stars. Easy. Unbelievable. So many near falls. So many times I was on the edge of my feet. When you get a thank you both chant at the end of the match, you just delivered a great match. Unfreaking believable. Some of those spots. I mean, to start off, a springboard back. He went for a springboard back elbow, but Zack Sabre Jr. in mid-flight hit a tiger suplex. Things like that don't happen with regular athletes or regular wrestlers, because these 2 are 2 of the very best down pro wrestlers in the world. And I hope WWE and I hope Vince McMahon never gets these 2. I never want to see Will Ospreay in WWE, and I never want to see Zack Sabre Jr. Not because I don't want them to see them make money. Of course I want to see them make money. The reason why I don't want to see them there is because they ruin it. They ruin it. I'm scared about Nakamura. Nakamura was incredible in Japan. One of the best professional wrestlers on the planet. AJ Styles, I'm worried. I worry about these people because, and if you watch indies, you have this feeling of, they're my guy. Like, you've seen them wrestle in front of 100 people. You've seen them wrestle in front of 200, 300, 400, 500. Now I see them wrestle in fucking 90,000 people stadiums and arenas. You want to see them do well, but they don't. And it's really frustrating as a person, who's seen AJ, wrestle in front of 200 people in TNA to then go on, win on Monday night. But I know they're going to fuck him up. And it upsets me. I shouldn't have to. In my opinion, WWE should be heads and bounds above everyone else in the world because they are the #1 wrestling company in the world when it comes to brand and name value. You go up to someone on the street, watch wrestling, they'll say that's either A, that WWF, or B, WWE if they're younger. They're younger. And to me, it's just so frustrating because there's so many talented guys in WWE. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles, The Miz, for instance, The Miz, what a heel. What a dick. How can you not respect? I hate how they ruin people. In the main event,